We were the brave ones who conquered and like, no, fear is not mine.
How do I even approach a girl that I like when I have nothing to offer?
We will look into that. I don't think there is something they can just fear.
I was essentially a nobody. People did not know me.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This is A Bless with Charity. My name is Charity. If you're tuning in for the first time, thank you so much for joining this team, this community. You are very much welcome. Remember to subscribe so that you're notified every time I upload something new. And if you are coming here every other time, thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. So today we have an exciting, intense, emotional, and every kind of word you would find topic to handle, and that is fear. Fear and Christianity, fear and everything else concerning our life. And this is just a topic that is close to home, and we know that because we have had those times where we all just we want to do something, and there is this voice that is too loud, the voice that tells us you will not make it, or probably this is not your thing, and all those kinds of things. So today we are going to handle that, and we are going to handle it with a guest. Okay, not really a guest, this has been here for some time before, but ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Krakowski. Hi Krakowski.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm okay.
So here is Krakowski.
Yes.
Krakowski, say hi to your fans and my fans and people.
Wow. Okay. Hi, the entire community of A Bless with Charity. It feels great to be back here yet again. I've been here once on there.
I can't remember. It was a video we did on the tag
Of love.
of love. Yeah.
So it was an honor. It was an honor to have been invited, and it feels so good to be invited yet again. I'm grateful.
Welcome. You'll see more of him maybe. Thank you so much for joining us, Krakowski. We are talking about fear and everything else in the world. Like fear against everything, against our Christianity, against our careers, and every other thing. So thank you so much for joining us.
Well, thanks. The pleasure's all mine.
Thank you. So have you ever been fearful?
Have I ever been? Well,
Or
of
you
course.
were the brave ones who conquered and like, no, fear is not mine.
I think I've been more fearful more than I've been brave. Yeah.
Okay, that's
Bold
such a
statement.
thing. Yeah, in front of a camera.
Yeah. So I believe that to me it's always about coming to terms with the reality of your life, and it's about owning up to what you're struggling with, your fears and insecurities, and actually like talking about them, because by sharing, that's when you're actually open to getting help. So fear is something that has really plagued my life, something that I've gone through time and again, something that has really robbed me of the quality of my life, something that has made me make decisions that I second guess, decisions I ought not to have made. So it misguided me.
So you've been fearful.
Yeah, I've been
before.
fearful, and it's really done me so bad.
Okay, so maybe just share with us, if you're comfortable, that is 1 or 2 times you've been fearful. Maybe in your career, you're a musician, stroke
An artist.
photographer, stroke a lot of strokes. So in any of those cases, is there one time you just were so fearful, and how did you handle that?
I've been fearful a number of times. So now that you just narrowed it down to my career, let's see. When I was getting started, you see, I'm a musician, granted, but I haven't been like music wasn't my source of income. My source of income was in photography and videography. So when I was getting started in there was tremendous fear. in the sense that I was just trying to find my way into that industry and people did not know about me. At the time I was living all by myself, and now trying to make a name for myself. I was essentially a nobody. People did not know me. So I wasn't getting referrals, I wasn't getting gigs to pay, and now I had things to take care of. I had rent to pay. I had to take care of myself, food and stuff. I had bills to pay. I had to pay electricity bill, water bills, and all those expenses were disproportionate to the income that I was making, especially in my tentative days as a photographer and a videographer.
So did you like, when you were starting, we are talking about your career in photography and videography, did you have a job apart from that?
Okay, so formerly I had a job, but now when my job ran its course, I figured out that I could, at least it was an opportunity for me to now pursue my passion, which happened to be multimedia. And this is how the fear came in, because I was now like, I'm now out of that job where I was being paid.
Assured.
I was assured of a salary.
Salary,
now I'm in a place, unusual place, and it's dark. So I'm competing against people who've been more established than me, and the fear of the actual danger of having to go to bed hungry, it's real and it's in your face, and it nearly happened. So you have that, and then that's like on the small scale, because people can normally fast. So you can say that if people can fast, like, food is not really the big issue. The main fear now is your career. So you are like, how do I even approach a girl that I like when I have nothing to offer? Even in the event that I manage to pull that courage from me, how am I going to provide for that lady in the event that, for example, we get married? What if we have kids? Will I be able to take the children to school? So such questions, they come up in your mind, and they're informed by fear. Exactly. So it really speaks into your insecurity. And now it manifests in your health, because you're now like, you worry too much, the acidity of your body, it shoots up, and that triggers stomach ulcers. You get?
Okay.
Yeah. So that's one of the few things that I could highlight about fear. It's been in plenty more levels. Sometimes there's also the fear of losing people that you love, and I believe that I think that's a righteous fear. If there's something like that.
We will look into that. I don't think there is something like a righteous fear. Anyway, so you are a photographer. I believe you have a name where you work. So how did you level up? How did you rise up? How did you manage to get out of the fear cocoon and rise and just be where you are right now?
Okay, so when I figured out that fear was overtaking me, and it was overwhelming me to the point where I was now being unproductive. I'm not going to say that I'm a pragmatic person who has things figured out, who like puts logic things into place and get things done. So when I figured out that was really like, it was like a tide or a wave of water, a storm coming at me. What I did, now I took my equipment, my cameras, because those were what I had at the time. I looked for my mother, and I had them commit them to God, because I was like, I'm afraid, Mommy. I'm like, I don't want to second guess the decision that I took to pursue what I'm passionate about. I prayed to God before making certain decisions. God did not stop me from making certain decisions, so meaning He might have endorsed them. So I just went with my cameras to God in the presence of my mother, and it was a passionate prayer. So we prayed, my mother prayed for me passionately. She was like, it's God Himself who blessed me with those equipment to be able to make a living, an honest and decent living. So if God Himself could bless me with such equipment, then He could also open doors. And sooner than later, doors started opening. I started getting like decent gigs that would at least, put food on the table, would at least, like the place where I was looking at other, people who are more established than me, where I was hoping that at least I would land the place that I was hoping that I would land in. I started landing in such places, and it's never competition. It's never like it was my desire to overtake certain people or things like that, but
it's just business.
It's business, granted, but God placed me in a place where I would be now comfortable. So
okay. So scaling your fears, you committed your work to the Lord.
Yeah, I did commit my work to the Lord.
Okay, and that yielded it. Yeah, it made you at least.
Exactly.
Like break.
Yeah, so it got me from the dungeons. Yeah.
Okay, so the thing about fear is that it just closes us up, and the voices become too loud, and they're like, you cannot do this, you cannot do this. So it is good to actually go back to the drawing board and tell God that I had you, like.
Exactly.
I had you when I took this risk of leaving the thing that I knew the most. I had you.
Yeah.
So I am here, and I think that is the place where some of us don't get to be. We are like enslaved so much that we can't go back and remind God that when I wanted to start this, when I wanted to leave, I had you. So I don't know what plans you have for me, but this place where I have to pay my bills, I have to. You do, but like you should have figured that for me, and that is what God wants. I think that is what God wants for us. He wants us to go back to Him.
True.
And just tell Him that I am here. I had you right. When we recently did a series of stepping into the unknown, and that is just way more linked. Like if you haven't watched it, please make sure you leave it. I will leave it up here, okay, for you guys. So it is going back and actually like Abraham saying that, God, I had you when you told me to leave, when you told me that, like maybe when Brian had that this is what the job, but this is not what I created you for, So you go back and tell God, I had you, I left my job, I left maybe this career, I'm going to this career and this is not working. So please figure this out for me. And God has a way of coming in. But you see, God cannot come in. I've learned one thing, that sometimes God cannot come in. Actually, God cannot come in if we think we can make it on our own. He lets us be. It's like, okay, now that you have everything figured out, you try it your way. Then when you get to that point where you're desperate and you're like, I really need you. He's like, yeah, I was waiting for that. And that is why he keeps telling us that his strength is made perfect in our weakness.
Yeah, very
like true. When we are weak and we're down and we're just like, wow, this is me, I have used up my all. He's like, now that is where I want you to be. That exactly that place is where I want you to be, because that time is when my strength is made perfect. Is when I come in and this is God, this was you. I cannot even doubt it, because it wasn't me. It clearly wasn't me. It wasn't the fact that I know how to talk to people. It wasn't the fact that, my name is just good, that I was selected for this, but it is that. So we are talking about fear, and we're talking about how fear has really, it's like a big thing in Christianity right now.